And here's the other thing, Pete. Here's the part of the Zach Martin story that non-Cowboys fans would forget. Stephen Jones pissed off Jerry Jones for drafting Zach Martin when they did, because Jerry Jones wanted to take Johnny Manziel.
Oh, no, that's right. That's right.
Can you imagine the difference had the Cowboys taken total NFL bust Johnny Manziel instead of what I think Zach Martin? I think the Cowboys could legitimately argue that they have had the two best guards in NFL history between Larry Allen and Zach Martin. Like, I think he is that good.
I heard an NFL scout say once, a guard is a guard is a guard, right? And that's kind of what Jerry Jones's maybe mentality was in that first round when they took Zach Martin instead of Johnny Manziel, right? It was at 2014, 10 years ago. No, Zach Martin is not your regular guard, nor was Larry Allen. And it's the footprint he left. I know him so well because as an Eagles fan, like he was nothing but trouble.
Yep.
And his consistency too. But he still flew under the radar. Why did he fly under? I know he's an offensive lineman, and I know he's a guard.
I have no idea. And that's 9-time Pro Bowler, 7-time NFL All-Pro. Like, I don't know how he wasn't a big name in the sport. He's not a guy that has a lot of flash or like off the field podcast or attention. Like, I think he's just a guy that got in the trenches and did freaking work, man. And it's really, here's where I wanted to take the conversation as well today. And I know you mentioned this before the break. It's really agonizing to think that the Cowboys not only had a little period there where you had a flashy offense with Tony Romo and Des Bryant and some of that explosiveness, but you really had a window there where your offensive line had Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, and Lyle Collins, and you had Ezekiel Elliott in his prime, and Dak Prescott playing pretty well, and you could not find a way to make any noise in the playoffs. And so I put together this graphic, Pete, and you may have some additional players. And I am being generous as a Cowboys fan. I'll say that for some of these names on here. But here's a graphic I made up this morning. These are Dallas Cowboys Hall of Famers who, since the previous Super Bowl in '97, have not won a Super Bowl for Dallas. So already in the Hall of Fame, you have T.O., Bill Parcells, Zach Thomas, and DeMarcus Ware. People forget Zach Thomas came and played for the Cowboys toward the end of his career. In my opinion, you have 4 shoo-ins since then who are just locked Hall of Famers. Stephon Gilmore, brief tenure, but he was there. Zach Tyron Smith, long time. And obviously, in my opinion, the GOAT, Jason Witten. And then all of these other names, I will just clarify, I only think 2 or 3 of those names on the bubble side are actually going to get into the Hall of Fame. But all of
who are the 2 or 3?
Man, if I had to pick, I think Sean Lee should get in. I think if CeeDee Lamb continues playing like he has for 8 more years, he's a name that could get in. I think Des Bryant has a better case than most people say. I think Flozell Adams and Travis Frederick should probably get a little more love. But I want you, like, that name of Dallas Cowboys greats, the greats that they've had. DeMarco Murray led the league in rushing. Like, Terrence Newman was one of the most consistent cornerbacks for a decade in the NFL. Jay Ratliff was a force. Like, you had all of this talent in the past couple decades, and you couldn't get past, like, the divisional round ever. It's just agonizing, bro. So for me, Zach Martin retiring.
Put that list back up real quick.
Yeah, sure.
I was just
going to say, Zach Martin, for me, just exacerbated this point that the Cowboys have had no shortage of top-tier NFL talent in the past couple decades and just have done nothing with it, man. Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think about Romo's possibility of getting in?
I don't think he gets in, man.
I don't think he does either. But
I would put him in because this is a shoddy Hall of Fame argument. Like, I'm acknowledging Romo does not belong, okay? But if you're just talking eye test, Tony Romo to me was a top 5 quarterback for a long time in the league. Like, he was not Brady, Manning, Breeze. But to me, like, and I know this is crazy, Pete. I know this is crazy. To me, he was just as good as like Aaron Rodgers. Like, to me, he was just as good as like.
Yeah, but he wasn't because he didn't win a Super Bowl. I
Well,
mean, I hate.
and that's why he doesn't get in. Ultimately,
Yeah.
that's why he doesn't get in. He put up the number, but like Eli Manning is going to get in. And if you look at season by season, Romo was an infinitely better quarterback season to season than Eli.
Well, but Eli Manning made the big plays.
I know. I'm not disagreeing with you.
And I don't want to sit here and crap on Tony Romo. I don't, because I loved him as a player. I'll go back to the other night, and this is going to be just like hang in there with me on this one, because after I watched the Gabby Petito thing, I started to watch the Jordan thing.
Yeah.
And it occurred to me that if Michael Jordan, I mean, truly, and Michael Jordan says that shot that he hits in rhythm in New Orleans in that championship game against Georgetown in '82 sort of changed who he was as a person and a man. Like, it's like that shot goes through the net and his confidence just starts. And unfortunately, Romo never had any of those things work out for him on the biggest of stages. I think you can even go back, and I don't think like, I can't get inside Tony Romo's head. And these are crazy, like, intangibles. But like, you know, even as a holder in Seattle on that Saturday night when that ball got away from him, like, that couldn't have done good things for his confidence.
Well, but Pete, what's incredible about Romo is he, I believe, led the league in fourth quarter comebacks during his career. I think in terms of like winning games late, he was only behind Brady. Like, the guy was clutch. But unfortunately, it doesn't matter. This is what I was saying when you were asking about Cowboys' success, right? It doesn't matter if you can't get past the divisional round. And I agree with you. If Romo is this much quicker on that botched snap, he scores, the Cowboys win, and who knows what they do from there.
And who knows what that does for him as a guy. And like,
if the officials don't rob Dez Bryant of that catch against Green Bay, I think that Cowboys team has a real shot to make the Super Bowl. Like, I don't think I'm crazy for that. No. But that's not what happened. And that's where sports, like, we love arguing about it. We love debating it, discussing it. It's so fun because the what ifs are just endless.
Well, and the Jordan thing, and it's not a fair comparison